We already have 5 in inventory. You may be aware these are cameras that are mounted on police vehicles that can read license plates both going forward and backwards. Through cars traveling on the street, so the car can read plates in front of them as well as plates going past them from passing vehicles. It takes that license plate and compares it to a database and tells the officer immediately whether or not that vehicle is wanted for any reason, whether it's a stolen vehicle or it could be a person associated with that vehicle, in fact, has a warrant. It also has the capacity in the future to identify folks with delinquent citations and take enforcement action based on that also. So another purpose or another use of that data at times, we get partial license plate. In fact, it just happened this past week. There was a violent crime that was committed and the license plate was reported with just a couple of digits, but with the description of the vehicle, and we can literally take that information and search images that have been captured to see whether or not we can actually identify the suspect vehicle. We just did it again this week. So there's a lot of utility to the license plate readers. They allow us to read up to 1,200 plates in a minute. And obviously, there's not going to be 1,200 cars going past in a minute, but it just shows you how quickly that these devices will work.
How accurate is the database?
Well, I mean, the database is entered in by law enforcement.
Okay.
So we get information from witnesses or officers' direct observation about vehicles that are wanted or stolen or individuals that are wanted or driving certain cars. Mm-hmm. So that's entered by law enforcement. They're required to verify those once, particularly when they're posted on leads, which is a state database. So they're basically verified.
So there's never been any, like, someone's driving down the road and then all of a sudden 6 police cars came around and then like, you're wanted for murder.
Well, I mean, there's never a mistake because there could be the person who's doing the entry. You could have somebody transcribe a number or something. I'm saying it's never happened. But the law enforcement agencies are required to verify the content before it's accepted. So there's kind of a check and balance here to ensure that it doesn't happen.
Sure, I'm sure it would probably lead to big problems if something bad happened to someone completely.
Yeah, but like everything else, it's the accuracy of the data put in. So there's always possibly human error. Certainly.
What would you say to critics who would say this is part of the all-watching Big Brother?
Don't you love those questions? The fact is that, number one, to drive on the public highway, it is a privilege, not a right, number one. And the state controls who is allowed to have license and their ability to drive on the roadways, and they can remove that permit. Public roadways are public space, so there isn't a reasonable expectation of privacy driving down a public roadway. Sure. So anyone who thinks somehow this is intrusive government really doesn't understand some of these foundational principles about how people are authorized to use the roadways and that they're open public space, which is there really no expectation of privacy.
Authorizing the acceptance of equipment from the Montgomery County Emergency Management Agency on behalf of the City of Dayton. Mayor Lightson. Aye. Commissioners Lovelace. Aye. Williams. Aye. Joseph. Aye. Whaley. See ordinance number 31106-11, authorizing the sale of certain real estate to Dayton Reliable Tool and retaining an easement upon said property in connection with the proposed southeast bikeway and declaring an emergency. Second reading emergency resolution number 5862-11, authorizing the necessary tax levies, certifying the same to the county auditor and declaring an emergency. Mayor Lightson. Aye. Commissioners Lovelace. Aye. Williams. Aye. Joseph. Aye. Whaley. Vacating Walter Street from Baltimore Street to Alaska Street, Alton Avenue from Leonard Street to Leo Street, the alley east of Baltimore Street from Leonard Street to the alley north of Walter Street, the alley east of Alton Avenue from Leonard Street to the alley north of Walter Street, and the alley north of Walter Street from Baltimore Street to Alaska. Number 841-11, objecting to the new permit application for a type C1, C2 liquor permit number 8774116, to TTS Services of Dayton, LLC, doing business as TS Liquor Store, 4259 West 3rd Street, Dayton, Ohio, 45417.
Favor say aye. Aye.
I move to reappoint Alex Freeman to the Human Relations Council for a term ending August 31st, 2014.
Say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Gary Bowman III, you wish to come for
for term ending August 31st, 2014, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I move to appoint David Williamson to the Greater Dayton Regional Transit Authority Board for a term ending September 25th, 2014, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I move to appoint John Cookman to the Dayton Board of Building Appeals as an alternate member for a term ending January 9th, 2014.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Ann Shanking, Secretary to the City Plan Board, and tonight we're holding a public hearing on Plan Board Case Z8 2011. This case would amend the boundaries of our downtown graphics overlay zoning districts. As background, in December of 2009, the City Commission amended the zoning code and map to establish 2 graphics overlay districts in certain parts of downtown. And the purpose of the districts is to use graphics and lighting to create a more inviting streetscape and visually connect different parts of downtown together. This approach is used by other cities, including Columbus, and it's supported by our downtown plans, such as the Greater Downtown Dayton Plan. So what this means is that buildings in the district who have blank walls, such as the Convention Center, or the Transportation Center, or these buildings here, could liven up the way they look by adding wallscapes or electronic message displays. In order to get this benefit of the graphics, we are asking that the building owners then install ancillary lighting. That would mean lighting that would illuminate walkways, sidewalks, alleyways, or architectural features of the building. A lighting plan and then the graphics plan both would be reviewed and approved by the City Plan Board. And if you're unable to do that, you can ask that non-conforming billboards be removed instead, and the applicant then would make arrangements for that to happen. The Downtown Priority Board supports the proposal. At the Plan Board public hearing, no one spoke in opposition. The Plan Board, by a 6-0 vote, recommends that you approve this zoning change.
The official zoning map to amend the boundaries of the downtown graphics overlay districts. Mayor Lightson.
Aye.
Commissioners Lovelace.
Aye.
Williams.
Aye.
Joseph.
Aye.
Whaley.